spokesperson Pule Mabe. Welcome, Mr. Mabe. So Magashule is the spokesperson on this issue and he's the alleged coup plotter. Isn't that a bit bizarre?
Well, I'm not sure what you are talking about when we are saying he's a spokesperson on this matter. I think that is rather too harsh.
As I understand today, he was saying there's no coup plot. Yes. The relationship between him and President Cyril Ramaphosa is fine, and this is a Western plot.
I think one of the things that we need to do is to quickly define the position of a Secretary General. I think that you are either being too harsh and perhaps not understanding how the ANC functions. And you might want to retract that line because it's quite out of way. The Secretary General of the ANC is responsible to communicate decisions of the National Executive Committee. So he was speaking today in that capacity as the SG of the ANC. So to now create an impression that
sure, if I have a conflict, however, I would have to recuse myself from this interview. So surely there are mechanisms. The alleged coup plotter is the spokesperson on this issue. Is that correct?
No, I think...
Is that the correct way to handle it?
No, let me rather give you the right context, because it is also very important that we also allow you to understand how an organization like the ANC operate. We might be unfair to you and expect that you'd understand certain things. The Secretary General of the ANC is empowered by the Constitution of the African National Congress to convey decisions of the NEC. Now, the NEC said over the weekend for about 3 days. And one of the things that it deliberated upon was this issue of a plot that seemingly would have caused unnecessary divisions. Now, all we did was to then say the focus of the leadership going forward is the unity of the organization. Make sure that we consolidate our unity, because how the ANC goes about to attract the confidence of society is when people see the ANC being united. Now, the repository of such views and such decisions coming out of the National Executive Committee is none other than the Secretary General. So is the President. The President has got a mandatory power as per the Constitution of the ANC to pronounce on policy. So, so the meeting that said was an ordinary sitting of the NEC. This is the highest decision-making body of the African National Congress in between conferences.
Not only is he the spokesperson on an issue that he's involved in, but the top 6, I understand, will be investigating the alleged coup plot. So Magashule is basically investigating himself. Do you understand that from the public's perspective, sometimes this looks like a sham? I
want to assist you. I don't know where you got the word investigation. You see, so you are introducing words that are quite... that are quite...
Tell us the exact words.
The ANC has issued a statement, and in its statement, one of the positive things that we spoke about is that if there must be a plot, it must be a plot against poverty, it must be a plot against divisions, it must be a plot against inequalities, it must be a plot against violence against women and children. So we did say, because the ANC cannot afford to be sidetracked, whether it's by the media or by others who might want to drive a wedge. The commitment of the African National Congress going forward is to make sure that it steams ahead with the Unity and Renewal Project as mandated and instructed by the 54th National Conference. So this is what the Secretary General spoke to today during the briefing.
So the reports that the top 6 will be investigating the alleged coup plot, are those incorrect?
I'm not sure where you got the word investigate.
Okay, what are they going to be doing? Are the top 6 going to be looking into it?
All we said that the officials must attend to this matter so that we could be able to reach finality. The commitment of the ANC now, and this was also pronounced by the President of the African National Congress, is the Unity Project. We do not have time to be attending to any other issue that will dissuade us from the immediate task.
Okay, so the top 6 are attending to the matter.
The top 6 are attending to it to provide the necessary guidance to the collective so that in its wisdom, the collective could be able to drive. I mean, there are urgent things. For instance, you have got the stimulus package. We are supposed to be saying, how are we going to roll out this program on the township economy? What are we going to do in our townships in the country to make sure that we salvage the problems that exist or obtain there, whether it's poverty, whether it's unemployment and all of that? What are we going to do to make sure that we instill a sense of moral conduct from amongst our own youngsters in schools, how they carry and conduct themselves?
Mr. Mabe, can I go back to my original question there? Maybe
Yes.
the top six is not investigating, but it is assessing the matter. Is that correct?
No. I think
It's dealing with the matter?
I think to assist you.
I'm trying to use the correct terminology.
But what I'm
dealing
trying
with this matter, I think.
What I'm trying to do here is to assist you to understand that the immediate focus of the African National Congress is the unity of the movement, is the renewal. So the National Executive Committee of the ANC is not going to place larger focus on things that would ordinarily contribute towards divisions.
Yeah.
Actually,
is the top six addressing it or not? You said they were addressing it.
The fact,
can we start there?
The fact that I'm not sure what is the interest of the SABC on this matter, because I have sought to address what we are doing. We said that because this is not the only issue that we dealt with in the press statement of the ANC. We have dealt with this issue. Officials have been instructed by the NEC to make sure that we reach finality on this. We try and open a new leaf. And the new leaf that we must focus on is one that unites us. So the ANC going forward is not going to be focusing its energies on things that detract it or take it out of the unity project.
You did say that the ANC top six will be addressing this matter.
Yes, correct.
My question again is, how can Ace Magashule be addressing a matter that he's allegedly involved in?
No, but
is that not a sham?
No. I think that maybe when you find time, it is also important to try and look at the constitution of the ANC, including just looking at various resolutions of the organization.
But the public needs to understand this. I don't think without understanding your constitution section by section.
Yes.
Help us to understand this.
No,
why does it sound reasonable that somebody's investigating an issue, addressing an issue that he was allegedly involved in?
You see, you are using words like investigate. You know?
Addressing. I'm using your words. Forgive me. Addressing.
Let us attend to this. We have got officials of the African National Congress, and officials of the African National Congress have been tasked by the National Executive Committee to be able to attend to issues that, if left alone, they could contribute to unnecessary disunity. In his own words, the Secretary General of the ANC, while addressing the press briefing today, did indicate what is the immediate focus. I think it is very important that we move towards dealing with the issues that the African National Congress has outlined to be its focus. I mean, I told you there is the issue of the economic stimulus.
Yeah, but you're telling me, Mr. Mabe, what my focus should be right now, what the public focus should be.
Yes.
Please, can I ask you this question?
Yes.
Why is... let's move on, because I don't think we're going to get much further here.
Yes.
Do you believe, does the ANC believe that there is a coup plot or not?
The ANC believes that the plot that it must undertake is one on divisions.
So you don't want to talk about the election?
It's one on fighting poverty. I'm now characterizing to you what the ANC believes should be a plot against. The ANC believes that the plot that must be undertaken by the collective leadership of the National Executive Committee.
Does it exist or not?
I am telling you what the ANC believes. I mean, unless you are a spokesperson of the ANC.
Okay, I'd like to quote from your President Cyril Ramaphosa mid-September, not too long ago. We should not spend time on counter-revolutionary imaginations of weakening the ANC, either in dark corners or whatever. That must come to an end.
Correct.
It sounds like he believes there's a plot.
No. The president of the ANC...
Why would you talk about dark corners, Mr. Mabe?
The president of the ANC, in his own words, says we should not spend time on things that would contribute to divisions. So now, any discussion that seeks to move the ANC out of that which unites and bring our people together undermines the very values that the ANC stand for. So when I am saying, I'm deliberately saying the plot that we in the NEC had agreed that we must focus our energies on is a plot against poverty, is a plot against inequalities, is because in our own collective wisdom, we have come to a determination that there are things that are menace to society, that if the leadership doesn't stand up, we will be effectively staying off the initiative which is to make sure that we give our people jobs.
Yeah. How can you focus on societal matters when there are claims that party members are working against each other? I think it would be right for you to address this issue. Have you asked Ace Magashule, as the ANC, as the NEC, what was discussed at that Durban hotel? Has it been put aside? Has he been directly asked?
Well, you see, one of the things that you will find with the African National Congress is that we are never shy to deal with contentious issues. The fact that this issue was in our statement, it was addressed by the Secretary General, it is now a matter that our own officials are looking into. This now allows us to move forward. You know why it is important for the African National Congress to move forward? We would not want to be co-opted into things that shift us away from what we are supposed to be delivering to the people of South Africa. Look at the problems in this country. Look at what is happening now in Westbury. Look at what happened at Dross the other day. Look at what is happening in the Western Cape.
Mr. Mabe, don't you owe the people of South Africa a simple answer? Did you ask Ace Magashule what was discussed at that Durban hotel where the alleged coup plot discussion was held?
The fact that this issue is on the statement should be able to say to the people.
So I shouldn't ask about it.
No, you are asking about it. I mean, you are doing your job. You must ask about it. Remember, you're not asking it for yourself. You are asking it for the millions of viewers out there who are watching this channel. Now, they must understand that a responsible leadership of the African National Congress, in its collective wisdom, arrived at a determination that it cannot be spending a lot of its time and energies on things that are undermining the unity of the collective. What needs to happen going forward is that it must be all hands on deck. We must focus on the unity of the movement. Did you ask him what happened in that hotel? I do not think that it is necessary for us to go into details of what gets to be discussed in the NEC meeting. This is what the National Executive Committee of the ANC does. Upon conclusion of its meetings, it convenes a press briefing. In that press briefing, it outlines and articulates positions that have been taken. These are instructions to its structures on the ground. We are now saying to our structures on the ground, focus on the Unity and Renewal Project. Let me tell you, if the ANC is not seen, both in action and in deeds, to be united and to be steaming ahead with the Renewal Project, will effectively be undermining the confidence that the people of South Africa have on this movement. Don't you think it would be helpful to answer the question directly and then people can put it aside and like you say, everyone can move on? Perhaps the only challenge is that the ANC might not be giving you the kind of an answer you are looking for. What the ANC is, straight answer. The ANC is a self-respecting movement like the ANC. How it deals with issues, it also has to consider issues out there in society. What are the things that must constitute a priority for the African National Congress? You would have realized since we started with this conversation, I've repeated the word unity over and over again, because this is one instruction that is coming out of the NEC, and this is one message that must go throughout all our structures in the country. Actually, the message that we believe will resonate well with our people is when there is greater unity of the officials of the National Working Committee, of the National Executive Committee, because what that does is that it has got a way of also growing its own positive, constructive legs throughout all our structures. What this has to do with answering my question, whether you had spoken to Ace Magashule. Well, I'm not sure. Because I kept on asking you maybe there is a specific answer that you are looking at. It is the SG. It is the Secretary General of the. If you want to know what the ANC gets to discuss in its meetings, it's not a problem. You are welcomed. You can join the ANC, be part of the National Executive Committee, raise your hand in those meetings. What we tend to communicate after our meetings are decisions of the NEC. So we have placed before the public our own decisions. The ANC is to approach Mbeki, Thabo Mbeki, former president, on comments on land reform. What's going to happen there that you have publicly communicated? Well, what we have publicly communicated is that we have seen the NEC did acknowledge that there is a pamphlet that was penned by President Mbeki on the question of land. There are also views that would have been made by President Zuma on the state capture issue. We felt that these are necessary issues that they are raising in the context of the national discourse, and that we should be able to get closer to that situation to make sure that we understand and appreciate the views better. Because what makes the ANC stronger is to understand the views of others. I mean, the ANC provide a democratic space to engage in views, because this is how policy positions of the ANC get to be sharpened.
So what is your view on what he said, that the ANC is turning its back on its history of non-racialism? I mean, he even had a specific instance where former President Jacob Zuma said, let's black parties unite and redress some of the past, but he was identifying the ANC as a black party.
Well, one of the things that happens, the ANC has got a publication called Umkhabulo. Now, in our August edition of Umkhabulo, we had deliberated at length on the land question. So it is important, and we had said that we need to make sure that we bring cadres closer to some of these publications, including policy positions of the African National Congress. Because, look, we are not going to stand and just say our positions must be understood without going out there to canvass them sufficiently. Look at what we've done. We've met with AFASA, with this, which is an association of black farmers. We have met with Agri SA. We continue to have broad engagements in society, because we understand one thing: the perspective or the position of the ANC on land can be best understood by people if we engage and are able to accommodate wider views.
He was talking about the ANC turning its back on non-racialism.
Well, that's why
response to Thabo Mbeki.
That's why I am saying that there are various position papers. I mean, I've referred you to Umkhabulo, which is a political education publication of the African National Congress, because in that publication we would have addressed some of the concerns that President Mbeki is raising. And I'm sure that at the right time there will be an engagement with President Mbeki, like there will be engagements with many other, whether it's foundations or it's organizations in the country, to make sure that people can understand because if the ANC doesn't go out to canvass its positions, its position might be misinterpreted to mean something else. The ANC has got the responsibility to explain its position to all and sundry.
Okay, but you can't explain your position on what Thabo Mbeki said relating to non-racialism.
Well, I mean, people
out there want to understand, was he right or wrong? Is the ANC turning its back on its history of non-racialism?
Well, it is not for us to say President Mbeki was right or wrong. I mean, he's entitled to his own views. The Thabo Mbeki Foundation is entitled to raise their own views. What I can tell you is that the agenda and trajectory that the ANC is pursuing, whether it's on land and on any other thing, is to make sure that it unites the people of South Africa regardless of the colors of their skin, black and white. That is what the Freedom Charter is all about.
All right, thank you for being with us tonight. Pule Mabe, spokesperson for the ANC. And remember, you can view any of the interviews that we bring you, our features as well. Go to sabcnews.com. You can also find us on Facebook or Twitter. And earlier we were discussing Westbury. Bongani Bingwa has been out there on the ground. Lots of claims from community members. One is that their so-called colored community has been forgotten. Let's hear what you have to say.